A 74-year-old man collapsed in his bathroom. No stroke, no heart attack. Heart was beating, but his blood wasn't moving. All because of something he thought was harmless. Something he'd done for 50 years masturbation, but not just the act of self. It was how he did it, the habits no one ever warned him about him. Dr. Mogit Kara, a men's health specialist with over 60 years of clinical experience helping older men protect their circulation, restore confidence, and reignite intimacy without pills, shame, or risky procedures. IV treated retired Marines, former CEOs, grandfathers, and humble family men, and in every case, one thing kept showing up again and again. They had no idea that for common masturbation, habits once harmless in their 30s had now become silent. Sabatas after 6-2 because the older male body responds differently. Veins weaken. Nitric oxide declines, and what once felt normal now be quietly causing damage every time. You think you're just relieving stress? In this video, I'm going to expose masturbation mistakes that slowly block circulation, damage intimacy, and accelerate aging in the male body. After 62, along with simple changes that can reignite your vitality and bring back connection you thought was gone forever. And be sure to stay until the end, because the fourth mistake is a thing 9 out of 10 older men do automatically, and it may be the reason your blood flow is failing in the most important area of your body. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another tip that protects your circulation, your confidence, and your intimacy. After 62, if this video speaks to you, type 1 in the comments to let know you're here. If not, type 0, I'm always listening and looking to survey better. Let's start with the most common mistake, one that seems harmless but quietly puts dangerous pressure on your blood vessel. Severe single time mistake 1, rushing mistake 1, the act triggering vascular panic. I've sat across from dozens of strong men who look me in the eye and say, "Doc, I just wanted a little release, something quick to take the edge." They speak honestly, sometimes even with a little guilt, but what they don't realize is that this small habit, this quiet routine they've repeated for years, may be silently sabotaging their most vital systems. When a man over 62 rushes through masturbation, he's unknowingly triggering what I call vascular panosia, heart rate spikes. Blood vessels in the pelvic region constrict and dilate rapidly. But here's the problem with your circulatory system. Doesn't bounce back the way it used to. The elasticity in your arteries is reduced, your nitric oxide levels, which help open blood vessels, have declined, and the results again force surges of blood flow can overwhelm weakened veins and fragile capillaries, especially in deepness. It's not about morality or shame, it's about physiology. You may not feel it right away, but over time, this Rashed stimulation slowly erodes his blood vessel function. It causes microtraumas. It leads to stiffness where there should be flexibility, and fragility where there's to be strength. The result isn't just physical. Men begin to notice a decline in sensitivity, slower erections, less warmth and response during real intimacy, and a quiet fear sets in. What's happening to 'em? They blame they blame stress, but the truth is, their body is simply reacting to chronic overexertion in a region that desperately needs care. Nachow's rushed masturbation sends wrong signals. It tells your nervous system to sprint when it should be stretching, and that stress response tightens. Blood flow suppresses arousal hormones and chips away at the very foundation of physical intimacy, trust in your own body. I always tell my patients this: how you treat your body in private echoes into how you feel in public, how you connect with others, how you sleep, think, and love. Intimacy isn't just about climax. It's about circulation, presence, and connection. And when you rob your body of a gentle process, you rob yourself of the vitality that makes you'll feel like a man. Now, here's where it gets even more surprising. Many men who slow down still unknowingly make the next mistake once affects your blood flow without you even realizing it. Let me show you what itis. If you're still watching and these sants are hitting home, type 1 in the comments to let me know you're horrend paying attention, because this next part may be the most important truth no one's ever told you. Let's keep going. Mistake 2. Masturbating with high pelvic tension, ignoring breathing. There's something subtle I've noticed in nearly every man over 60 who comes into my clinic with concerns about tendency, circulation, or energy. It's not just what they're doing, it's how they're doing it during private moments. Most of them unconsciously hold their breath, their shoulders rise, their abdomen tightens, their entire pelvic floor, thus deep hidden muscles around the base, off penis, locks up like a clenched fisty. Think it's normal? It's not. This unconscious tension, this breathless, forceful habit during masturbation might seem harmless. Beauty'll tell you what it really does. It chokes off blood flow. It signals you're nervous system to brace nodules instead of allowing your vessels to open and oxygen to flood your tissues. It creates a tight, restricted environment where circulation gets strangled at its source. Over time, the tension builds into habit, and the habit builds into dysfunction. When you stop breathing, you've stopped flowing. That's not just a metaphor, it's physiology. The penis is one of the most blood-sensitive organs in the entire body. It depends on smooth, relaxed blood movement, not pressure, not tension, not a stressed-out nervous system, but one. Your breath is shallow and your body tightens, your arteries constricture. Nitric oxide levels plummet, and instead of promoting life-given circulation, you quietly suffocate thievery, intimacy you're seeking. I've had men look at me stunned when I ask them, were you holding your breath? They nod, because no one ever told them how breathing affects their arousal. No one ever explained that pelvic relaxation and deep rhythmic breath are as essential to a healthy erection as testosterone itself. The older your body gets, the more it needs scoopration, not controlled. Tension in the wrong places leads to long-term weakness in the places you care about most. The truth is, if you're breathing shallow, clenching your body and rushing to finish, you're not just cutting off sensation, you're training your body to treat pleasure like a threat. That tension creates a subtle war inside your circulation, and eventually your confidence pays the price. But even if you start breathing again, there's another habit that drains your strength in a different way. Quiet listening your drive day by day, even when everything else seems normal, and it starts with how often you're doing it. Mistake 3. Daily masturbation without recover, draining your libido reservoir. It's a quiet habit, a routine that starts senescently, maybe out of boredom, maybe out of loneliness, or maybe just to feel some mething again. For many older men, daily masturbation becomes a ritual, a way to mark the time to relieve stress, to feel normal. But what most don't realize is that after 62, this daily rhythm doesn't just exhaust your energy, it slowly depollutes the very system your intimacy depends on. Your body isn't 30 anymore. Your recovery time is longer. Your testosterone rebounds slower. The blood vessels that once bounced back quickly now need time, oxygen, and space to repair. When you masturbate every single day, or worse, multiple times a day, you're not giving your body a break. You're draining your reservoir of nitric oxide, dopamine, and even emotional desire, and the symptoms, they creep in quietly. You might notice you don't feel as much afterward. There's a lingering nizz in your pelvic region. Erections aren't as responsive. You feel more tired, more detached, even a little disconnected from yourself. You may even feel a subtler resentment toward your own body, as if it's betraying you. But it's not. It's simply asking for rest. One man in his late 60s once told Knock, I just don't feel interested in real intimacy anymore. I do it every debate. I feel nothing afterward. That broke me heart, because his body wasn't broken, was overworked. When you overstimulate with allowing time to recharge your innate, just dulling sensation, you're weakening the very circuits that generate arousal in the first place. And when those circuits burn out, circulation slows, veins weaken, connection fades. Masturbation should be a moment off connection, not a coping mechanism for emotional exhaustion. If it becomes compulsive or mechanical, it turns into acquiescent thief, robbing you of the natural drive. Warmth and intimacy your body was meant to experience even in your latter years, but here's the surprising part. Even if you space things out and allow recovery, there's one habit that continues to hijack your nervous system. It's not physical at all. In fact, it starts in your brain. It might be the single biggest reason so many older men today feel disconnected from real intimacy. Let's talk about that next. If you're still here and these saints are resonating with you, type on in the comments to let me know you're with me, because what comes next, point number 4, could change the way you think about your health and intimacy moving forward. Mistake 4. Using porn that hijacks the brain-starving, real intimo. Be honest? This is the hardest conversation for most older men to haven't. Because of shame, but because of the deep loneliness it uncovers. Many of them, and I counsel, aren't using pornography or excitement anymore. They're using to fill a void to chase a feeling that came naturally, but over time, that chase becomes a trap, and by the Timothy realize it, the damage is already quietly spreading beneath the surface. Modern pornography isn't what it was 50 years ago. It's fast, it's extreme, it's designed to overstimulate your brain in a way real life simply can't compete with. And what that does, especially in women over 62, is it rewires the pleasure center of the brain. Your dopamine receptors become desensitized. Your cell patterns shift toward fantasy, not reality, and slowly, without realizing, your body stops responding to real touch, real closeness, real intimacy. I've had men sit in my office, tears in their eyes, saying, "Doc, I don't feel anything when I'm with my wife anymore. I feel broken." But they're not broken. They're conditioned, and that conditioning is disrupting one of the most important processes in the malabidized circulation. Here's how the brain is the command center for blood flow. When you constantly flood it with artificial arousals, you short-circuit the natural cascade of signals that trigger real-world blood movement. You confuse your nervous system, you shrink your emotional capacity, and before long, blood flow to pelvic region weakens, erections become unreliable, and intimacy feels more like a chore than a gift. More you rely on porn, the more your body forgets how to respond to the human experience of closeness. And after 62, when every vessel and every signal counts more than ever, this detachment can be devastating, not just to your physical health, but to your sense of identity as a man. This isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. Your brain and your body want to feel again, but first you have to take back control. You have to reset those patterns, you have to reconnect with the kind of stimulation that restores notrobes, your circulation, your confidence, and your connection. And that starts with a decision. You must change a toe, because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to reclaim what you must change. Today list, you must change it. I've seen it too many times. Good men, strong men who waited just a little too long. They knew something felt off. Felt their energy slipping, their connection fading, their drive disappearing. But they told themselves, "I'll fix it later." And later never came. Let me be clear. If you're over 62 and any part of what I've said so far feels familiar, you must change today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, change doesn't have to be drastic. It doesn't mean denying yourself leisure or cutting off what makes you feel alive. It means shifting how you approach it. It means working with your body, not against it. And the good news, your body can respond faster than you think. When you give it the right conditions, start by slowing down or private moments, less mechanical and more intentional. Focus on breathing deeply, relaxing your muscles, and engaging your senses. If you're used to visual stimulation, try something softer, maybe memory-based arousal, or simpler connecting with touch and sensation. This small adjustment alone can begin to retrain your nervous system and restore health. Curricula. Give yourself rest between sessions. Let your body rebuild. It's your hormonal balance and regain sensitivity. Masturbation should never leave you feeling numb, tired, or disconnected. When done mindfully, it can become a tool for vitality, not depletion. And most importantly, if you've even relying on high-intensity program, consider stepping away from it. I know it's not easy, but the more you remove yourself from artificial extremes, more you'll begin to feel again emotionally, physically, intimately. Your brain will rewire, your blood flow will respond. And what once felt lost can begin to return. You're not too old, you're not too far gone, and your best years of connection off. Confidence of truly feeling like yourself again. They're still possible, but only if you act now. Change starts with a single decision, and it can ripple out into every part of your life. It's your health, your relationships, your self-worth, because here's the truth. Ireland, after 6 decades in men's shelf, most men don't need more pills, more pressure, or more secrets. They need awareness, a plan, and someone to tell them the truth. And in just a moment, I'll show you exactly what that plan looks like, so you never fall back into the silent mistakes that brought you hairlets. Wrap this up together. Conclusion: your health, your intimacy, your choice. F. You've made it this far. I want to speak to you, not just as a doctor, but a Sumion who genuinely cares about Nasumion, who genuinely cares about how you feel, how you live, and how you love. Becca is what we've talked about today's end. It's just about masturbation. It's about circulation. It's about the quiet choice let's make behind closed doors that slowly shape our health, our confidence, and our connection. To the people we care about, I know these conversations can feel uncomfortable. Most men have gone a fire entire lives without ever hearing a doctor say these things out loud, but silence has done enough damage. The truth is, the 4 masturbation mistakes we've occurred today are not just habits, they're hidden patterns that quietly chip away at your vitality. After 62 rushing the act, holding your breath, repeating it daily without rallying on artificial stimulation that replaces real intimacy. These choices didn't just affect your body, they affect your sphere, your relationships, your sense of self-worth. But here's what I want you to remember: every one of these habits can be unlearned. Your blood flow can improve, your energy can return, your sense of intimacy. Real meaningful intimacy can come alive again, and it starts with small conscious shifts. Slow down, breathe deeply, give air, body rest, choose connection over compulsion. These are not just medical suggestions, they're lifelines. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s were to reclaim what they thought was lost forever. Just be making the changes. You're not too old to heal, you're not too late to feel again, and you're certainly not alone. There are thousands of men, it's just like you, men woothed they had to quietly accept decline, who now know better and who live better because of it. This is your body, your life, your story, and you get to decide how the next chapter is written. Will it be more off the same, or will it be the beginning of something better? The choice is yours. And if no one else has told you today, let me be the first. You still have time, strength, and purpose, and you are worth taking care of. If this message spoke to you, don't let it fade away. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell, because I'll sharing more life-saving tips just for men like you. Real talk, real solutions, and if you're ready to take back control of your health and intimacy, still standing strong in the comments. Let me know you're with Mayar, not alone, and the journey to feeling like yourself again starts right here. Stay tuned, stay strong, and most of all, stay curious, because the next video might just be the one that changes everything.